What's going on, everybody? My name is Garrett Claffey, and this is my YouTube channel, Garrett the Investor, where I'm going to be documenting my personal journey through to get to a life of financial freedom. Really excited about it. If you haven't had the opportunity to subscribe to this channel, to this community, just click subscribe below and like this video if you can get some sort of value out of this. On this channel, we discuss lines of finance, the economy, personal finance, personal growth, stock trading, crypto investing, and real estate investing. And we're also going to be discussing entrepreneurship, sales and marketing, all that good stuff, just kind of the overall realm of how to get yourself to financial freedom. I'm not there yet. I know I'm going to make a ton of mistakes, and which you'll get to see all of them. But my hope is that when I make those mistakes, you don't have to. And then the videos that I put out there, I can condense the information in the thousands of hours of research and condense it in a 5 to 10 minute video and present something to you of value. So what I'm going to be talking to you about today on this video is the $2 trillion of stimulus that was released for the government aid. And this is obviously a response to the coronavirus outbreak and the impact that it has on the economy. So they're trying to soften the blow a little bit. And right now, as you saw, the Dow is, if you don't know the Dow, it's really just the stock market is really just plummeting the past month and a half. Rightfully so. People are out of jobs. They're losing their jobs. People have less money. People are pulling out of the market based on that uncertainty. And we call it FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. That's what's driving that plummet. So this $2 trillion is kind of trying to cap it and start to move a V shape upwards to stop that loss gradually, of course. So what I'm going to be talking to you about today is that breakdown of that $2 trillion. And also at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what that means to you and to your family. And we'll get into that as well. So as far as the breakdown, $100 billion are going to hospitals out of the $2 trillion. Okay. I'm going to try to be reserved on this topic, but I'm very personally close to this topic. So what I want to say is this. Out of the $2 trillion, and you'll see the entire breakdown as I go through it, but only $100 billion are going to hospitals for protective gear. That seems absolutely outrageous. My girlfriend is a nurse. I live with her. I hear the stories every single day. Beyond the pandemic, the job of a nurse and caring for your loved ones, they don't get the credit that they deserve. So if you are a nurse out there, shout out to you for going to work every single day with positivity and helping other people's loved ones, maintain their level of health and quality of life. Thank you so much for your service. But let's get back into the $100 billion, right? The nurses that are going into work are not having the protective gear that they need to protect themselves. A lot of units, different units across hospitals are getting wiped out with their own coronavirus because they're taking care of coronavirus patients. It's really sad. We're essentially saying this. We're sending in troops to war without the proper gear, right? This is a pandemic. This is a war on coronavirus at the moment, and our nurses are going to the battlefield without their sword and without their shields. And man, it's scary. The hospitals are absolute chaos. So $100 billion is going towards that relief. I think it should be more. Especially I'm from New York State. We're getting hit. We're really just the epicenter for the outbreak as of right now. It's scary stuff. So I'm very close to it. It's very close to home for me. The next line is $500 billion are going to major corporations, with $50 billion of that going towards the airline industry. What does that mean for investors? What that means for investors is that I would absolutely, if you're not positioned already in airline industry, I would absolutely position yourselves in the top 5 to 10. My favorite airline is Delta Airlines. I think it's a very, very reasonable price right now. JetBlue is also looking very, very attractive right now. I'm not saying for you, this is not, I'm going to put a disclaimer out here. I'm not a financial advisor. I just live and breathe and sleep this stuff. And I do a lot of research on it in my personal time. So my suggestion would be to position yourself. If you haven't, I would go on Robinhood or Webull if you're not already investing in there and follow those stocks. Also, TradingView is a really great platform to be able to see the minute changes and kind of go all the way back through the date and really kind of get into the nitty gritty on that. I've done research. We'll have a topic on just stock investing at some time. This is just a breakdown of the 2 trillion, but I personally would invest in the airline industry. That $50 billion, the airline industry has already been stable for so long. That's why you've got investors like Warren Buffett, who's probably the most well-known investor, beside Charlie Munger. These guys have really been so heavily invested in airline stocks. They own a very large portion of each one, some of the major players. And, rightfully so, there's so much stable growth that's been happening through recessions, through pandemics, et cetera. You can even look back to SARS and H1N1 and see the impact of, which I've already done. But anyways, $50 billion to me, what that sounds like is $50 billion of added security for me and less risk for my investment. So like I said, and then it also kind of sees the trajectory down the road. If we're still kind of plummeting, it also shows me that the government is willing to bail out these types of businesses. And for me, I want to put my money where there's going to be a little bit less risk, but a huge growth potential. The stock's been down so heavily, and this is your time to really invest in that. The next topic is $250 billion is going towards the American public, us, right? And I'll get into what that means for you very shortly. Lastly, $350 billion is going towards loans and grants for small businesses. Love this. $350 billion, that's a healthy portion of it. And, really what that's touching on is the unemployment rate, which is skyrocketing high right now. It's the highest it's ever been in U.S. history at 3.3 million people out of work. That's a scary number. So what they're trying to do is provide the businesses that still have their employees, and they're trying to keep those employees with this stimulus package, that $350 billion, so that businesses can keep their doors open. On top of that, and I'll kind of, from a personal perspective, like I said, there are 3.3 million claims, insurance claims, but they're also going to give an additional $600 to people coming out of that $350 billion of support and relief for small businesses for insurance claims. So there's going to be additional $600 that's going to be issued either through direct deposit or check to the individuals that have been laid off. So that's really great news. As far as the businesses and how quickly they can actually see that money, experts are saying that, it can be as less as 36 hours for an express loan. So that's pretty quick, right? I really hope they can keep to that number. I'm optimistic, depending on the volume. But I'm thinking it's going to be probably a week, 2 weeks before companies are really seeing that money in their bank account. Now, what does all of this mean for us, other than the stock investing, other than understanding the economy and kind of the way everything has been working as of late? What does this mean for us? So the $250 billion that has been as a stimulus package towards us as Americans, this is how it breaks down. Anybody who's making less than $75,000, it will be eligible for up to $1,200, and that'll be coming through either direct deposit or check. Now, here's the thing. There's a huge difference in time frame and timeline of when you're going to actually receive that money in your bank account. If your checking account or your bank account is registered with the IRS, you could potentially get your funds within a week, 2 weeks, right? However, if you do not, then here's the thing. You're going to have to be sent a check. And the checks can take up to 4 months to be able to send out. And the reason behind this is the U.S. government has a limit of 20 million checks to be sent out per month. Obviously, there's a lot of people in need, and everybody's going to be receiving this, so it could slow down that process heavily. So in short, if you have direct deposit, if you have your IRS and it's registered, your checking account is registered with the IRS, you'll be direct deposited probably a week, 2 weeks. If it is, if you don't and it goes through check, it could take months. So that's some good information. Now, if you make $75,000 or less, you can be eligible for that $1,200. Now, for couples, they kind of take the combined of the $75,000, and it's actually $150,000 combined salary and income. So if your couple make $150,000 or less in combination, you'll be eligible for up to $2,400 of relief. And then it's also $500 plus, each child is another additional $500. So here's where it breaks down for you. If you lost your job, you get an additional $600. All Americans, if you make $75,000 or less, you'll be eligible for up to $1,200 either through direct deposit from the IRS or by check. The timelines differ, and they'll obviously be changing as more and more people take advantage of that. And then on top of that, if you're a couple, $150,000 less combined, you'll get eligible for up to $2,400. And then obviously, if you lost your job, you get $600 either issued through direct deposit or a check. So I hope this video was very helpful for you. It's a lot of information. That's why I was like, looking at my phone and pulling up my notes. This is all happening very, very fast. I encourage everybody to just take a deep breath, relax, and really just stay positive in this. Control the variables that you can control in your aspects. And that's why personal finance and investing, that's why it's so important to start to take a look at. And if you're in there, it's very important to keep a very close eye on it. I'm signing off now. Thank you so much. And if you haven't had the opportunity to subscribe, like this, and share it with your friends, thank you so much. This is Garrett the Investor. And thank you very much. Be safe, be well. We'll talk soon. Thanks.